All right. So, it this is a lot to handle perhaps all at once. And so one of the things I have is um, a page where all of this stuff can be found. And so essentially that's where that main application is, but what you can do is you can look through a written introduction, but sometimes it's best to just jump into some of the examples. And so here I've got a lot of little interesting pictures. And so this is kind of like the gallery, for instance. And so if you click on them and they just automatically can upload. But the gallery is kind of interesting because they give you up here, you can sort of see the challenges, which you could say to the, say if you were to give this to your a child or a student, you could say, hey, make these and then just load them up. And so you can see there's a bunch of them already there, but then they just sort of cycle around. And so, you know, even though you can see it here, you've got to be able to, I'll just pop this out of the way, you'd have to be able to make it somehow. And so in this case, I'll start with a square and then compare it with the H and say, okay, that's where I have them situated. And so I can start making now, for instance, here, and then do my thing. And so after, say, a few of these things have been finished and challenged, then you could say, okay, but where do you get all these things? Well, if you go back here and you go to examples, there's a few things that you can do quickly. And so, yeah, these are crazy, some of them. But you can see that's the list right there that I just did. And so instead of having that list, say if somehow finish those, then you could jump to this list. And so if you click on pics, then you can see now these new ones are uploaded. And so in case you're worried about where's this stored, it's just stored on the browser. And so any changes you make will all be here. And so anyway, these new challenges are here, and you can see they're a lot more challenging. I'm still developing some of these things, but now you can sort of play with these and say, okay, let's. So you get to get quick at using this interface, and you can start saying, wow, there's a lot of triangles here. And so, oops, don't forget the Z, and so you can say 3 green, 3 turn. Now, of course, if you wanted to stick with the paint interface, you're happy to do that, and you can be pretty quick at this. And then you say, is that good enough? And you say, help, and you say, nope, I got to go a little bit further, and so you can just drag here. Come on, Z. Now, having a keyboard, I kind of use a little bit too much, perhaps, because I'm used to doing it that way. And then, kaboom, etc. And so back to here. This time, make it orange, and then you do your business. Okay. Anyway, so but the key is that all of these resources are already here, and you can sort of see a whole bunch of things that are quite challenging. And you'll notice that something like that looks almost impossible. So let me just maybe get that a little bit bigger. But yeah, you can see how's that done. And so there's a lot of weird things that you can do, and the language itself has some fun things going on. And so if you just don't want to see the examples, you can sort of click on those things, like I said. But yeah, there's an introduction, and so you can walk through the introduction, and it'll show you some things that you can do. And so, but anyway, but the key is when you are starting out, what do you want to do? You want to be able to master, say, the interface here. And so in this case, I think I made the screen bigger somehow. There's little things that you make it bigger, and then you can paint these things. And here, and then you can see kaboom, a total match, and that was the code over here that did it. And so lots of crazy brackets and things, but anyway, there you have it. So more examples you can find is the key, and so and more resources. So good luck with that, and let me know if you have any if you start working with this and you have any questions. There's a lot to take in here, but kaboom, there she be. Good luck and cheers.